You ever noticed how the moment you decide to do something important, your brain suddenly becomes a master of distraction? It's strange, isn't it? Because sometimes the hardest battles aren't against the world. They're against that tiny voice inside you that whispers, "Not now." You sit before your task, and suddenly it feels like wading through mud, invisible, heavy, endless, like your mind suddenly builds a wall between you and that task. You know it matters. You even want to do it, but somehow you just don't. You reach for your phone. You tell yourself, "I'll start after one video." And then the guilt kicks in. I've been there. So has everyone who's ever tried to change. You must know this. You're not lazy. You're not weak. Your brain is just doing what it was designed to do: protect you from discomfort. It's wired for safety, not growth. But what if there was a way to work with that wiring instead of fighting against it? A way to gently train your mind to do the hard things consistently, calmly, and without burning out? Yes, there is. And let's call it the Lotus Method. Just like the lotus rises through muddy water to bloom beautifully above the surface, this method helps you move through mental resistance, that mud of self-doubt, procrastination, and fear, so you can reach clarity and action. The Lotus Method has 5 phases: awareness, flow, stillness, intention, and patience. Each one is like a petal opening, one by one, until you find yourself doing the things you once avoided, almost effortlessly. Everything begins with awareness. You can't change what you can't see. Most of us are so caught inside our thoughts that we never notice the tiny moment when resistance first appears. That split second when your brain says, "Let's do something easier." That's the exact doorway between who you are and who you want to be. So your first task isn't to push harder, it's to observe. Next time you catch yourself avoiding something hard, pause for just a moment. Notice what happens in your body. Does your chest tighten? Does your mind start negotiating? Don't judge it. Don't fight it. Just notice it, like a scientist observing an experiment. When you find that resistance, something powerful happens. You've just moved from being in the resistance to watching it. That distance gives you choice. That's awareness. That's the first pedal. Once you've seen the resistance, don't try to bulldoze it. You can't win a war with your own brain. Instead, slip past it. Enter the river of flow. Your brain resists big, heavy goals, and it sees them as threats. But it doesn't resist tiny beginnings. So here's the trick. Lower the entry point. Make it so small that your mind can't say no. If you have to study for an hour, start by opening the book. If you need to write, tell yourself you'll just type one sentence. If you want to meditate, sit down for one breath, just one. Once you start moving, momentum quietly takes over. That's the beauty of flow. Before you know it, 5 minutes become 15 and you're deep in motion. You've entered the current. But flow alone isn't enough. If you only chase motion, you'll eventually hit burnout. That's why the lotus also needs still water beneath it. Stillness gives your mind oxygen. It resets your nervous systems. You can face hard things without collapsing under pressure. Now comes intention, the fourth pedal. This is where you stop being vague about your goals and get precise about your actions. When you sit down to work, know exactly what you're here to do. Not write a book, but write the first 500 words of the introduction. Not get fit, but do 20 minutes of stretching. Before every task, set your intention. Say it out loud if you can. Right now, I'm going to focus on this one thing, nothing else. Then protect that intention fiercely. And finally, the last pedal, patience. The hardest one for most of us. Because we live in a world that worships speed. We want progress now, results now, change now. Be patient with yourself. You are rewiring a brain that's spent years avoiding discomfort. That takes time, but once it happens, it lasts. So, how do you live the Lotus Method in your daily life? It's not a rigid schedule, it's a rhythm. Start your morning with awareness, just 1 minute of noticing your thoughts before you touch your phone. Ease into action with small flow sessions, tiny beginnings that grow into momentum. Include stillness somewhere in your day. Even 2 minutes of silence is enough. Act with intention. One focused block of work where you give your full attention to a single goal. And end your day with patience. Review what went right, smile at what didn't, and remind yourself that you're still growing. Do this for 2 weeks and watch your brain begin to obey, not out of fear or force, but out of trust. Thank you for listening, and this is just the beginning. In the next step, I'll show you 12 brain exercises that strengthen the very circuits of focus and discipline we talked about today. Click here and keep your growth in motion.